Hello everyone, yours truly, Chrislevi13, and welcome to another awesome episode of Things I'd Add. As seen in the first episode where I talked about Sea of Thieves, I kind of told you what the show was about, where I would talk about things I'd add to games, consoles, and more from my point of view, basically. And also, I talked about Sea of Thieves, a game that released on the Xbox One earlier this year and was an exclusive. And the game that we're going to talk about today is also an Xbox exclusive called State of Decay 2. So sit back, relax, hopefully you'll enjoy this like you enjoyed the first one, and if you're new to the channel, do me the biggest favor of all, hit the subscribe button so we content from yours truly. So everybody that plays games, if you know Xbox exclusive and you're an Xbox fan, you know of the series State of Decay. State of Decay 1 was a very, very cool game, and State of Decay 2 is very, very cool. But there's a lot of things that I would add into the State of Decay games that could make them go from here to here. And I feel like they're not a ton of huge things that some of them might be huge things, but there's some things I think if in State of Decay 3, now that they're an actual Microsoft studio and they got Microsoft backing, that I feel like they could do this in State of Decay 3, or maybe someday through updates in State of Decay 2, but I feel like more or less it'd probably be State of Decay 3 because it's a lot of stuff that would change the game itself. But these are things that as I've played this game for probably 50, 60, 70 hours, that I feel like I would change in the said game. So when you get dropped into State of Decay 2, you kind of get your character, you go into the game, and you have randomly generated characters. You jump into the game, they kind of get you into this little thing, and then you jump, and then it drops you off in one of the three counties, and then from there you got to get your plague hearts out of there and the different variety of zombies out of there, and also you got to help the other people that you may encounter in the world. Make sure you got food, meds, gas in your cars, and collect stuff, But there's two things right off the bat that I want to add. I would like to have the change to be able to where you could see things in first person and third person. Like you could just click a button, bam, bam, first person, okay, third person, kind of have that thing right there. That's one thing I'd add, to the game. And another thing is that the different communities you have in there, I wish there was a point in the game where, like, if you did so much in one community, instead of just dropping everything and going to a new community, why don't they have you, like, you could travel to the different communities if you wanted to, and then after you travel to all three communities, there's a part of the game where, bam, all three communities are connected. So it's like, you start off in one community, one county, and then after that, you go into another county, and you kind of go through all three of these counties, and once you've ventured on all three counties and done the certain missions and certain things in those counties, you only, bam, the last part of the game is unlocking all three of these counties, and that makes the place go from being, oh, I've got this big of area, I've got this big of area, I've got this big of area, to having this big of area, And also, when you do that, put some lore into State of Decay 2, some reasoning as to why this thing is there. More of the Red Talon and all that would be really, really cool to have in there. To have more of that stuff in there, because I feel like as a player of the game, to learn more about the Red Talon, to learn more about why these things are this way, you kind of see people, and then maybe you go to certain communities and there's certain people kind of like on The Walking Dead that have the zombies and are doing stuff to them and doing this and doing that, just to play cards, and some of them are, have a reason to be doing it, and some of them are doing it for a bad reason and all of that. That'd be really cool to have more of a story in there, other than you create your community, you do that stuff, and you survive, because it kind of gets repetitive after a while. And once you get all the play cards out of the community, it really kind of gets somewhat boring. But that's just me. Now, when you get to the actual characters, I wish you could, like, maybe you could have like I know your character has permadeath. As soon as they're dead, you can't get them back in the game. But maybe you could basically drop in your own customized character. You get a couple settings of stuff that bam, and then maybe drop into the game bam. Or if you don't get to make your own character, maybe like throughout the world you can find different costumes, different stuff to like add onto your character to change their characters, like what they're dressed like oh, I found a shirt here, oh, I found a hoodie here, and you can like collect some clothes and and have like a basket or like a chest full of clothes, and you can change the clothes on your characters. That'd be a cool feature to add into State of Decay 2 or maybe 3. so that you can do that. Then when it comes to your weapons and your customization, I wish like the weapons weren't just like these little things right here. I wish that like the stuff that like you saw in your case would come up like that, and you could actually look at the guns a little bit better, you know, and you could interact with the guns a little bit more. Maybe put a paint job on them, maybe add some stuff to them, you know, kind of customize them a little bit more, and have them, instead of being those little blocks that there are on the screen, you could actually do more to the guns. Then when it comes to outside of the character itself and the weapons itself, which I may hit on that before I end this video, is that you know how you got your vehicles. You got certain vehicles you can find out around the world. Police cars, there's trucks, or certain things. But there's only a certain number of vehicles. Well, I've been driving around Decay 2 and I've seen a bus. I've seen an 18-wheeler. I wish everything was accessible. If there's a vehicle in the game that was accessible, like 18-wheelers, you could get into an 18-wheeler. Some of them wouldn't be drivable. Some of the 18-wheelers wouldn't be drivable. But you get into them and you can open the back of it, find materials on there. Maybe you open up one and there's a play card at the end of it and you gotta go pow, 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 and kill it and stuff like that. Add different stuff like that into it and be able to drive around in that stuff. You know, it'd be really, really cool to see that aspect. And what would be really cool is maybe in the third installment of Decay 3, when you basically, you could go around from, like I said in the beginning, you go around from community, you do everything in this community, bam, you go to the next screen, bam, you go to the next screen, bam, and then it opens up a fourth thing where all three communities are to get our one big map at the end of it, and then there's like, and then like the things regenerate some of the play cards, and then you feel like, oh, the map went from being this size to being this size, and you're like, the map went from being this to this, and you're like, wow, because you got all that, and then you're like, well, I've already been here. I know all the different areas, the three different communities, or three different counties basically that you're in, and they're all one area now because they're all right next to each other. And you're like, wow, this area just got 10 times bigger. And you actually got to go back to certain areas, and there's certain people that maybe have been in this, you may have met in this community, this county, but they're now in this county, and all this stuff would change, you know, because like. And it'd be really, really cool to have stuff like that added into the game. Now, I know it may sound like I'm rambling, but this is just off-the-cuff videos. These things I'd add are off-the-cuff things that I would add to these games, you know? And when you do this, now getting back to the vehicles, you could, like, maybe like, you add some areas into, like, these counties. I keep calling them communities, but these counties that you didn't expect to see initially when you get to the county. Maybe when all three counties become a whole, you can sit there and add in like an airport or something like that and stuff like that, or like a bus station. You go to the airport and now you can get in a plane. Like you could have like 2 or 3 different planes that you could get in, or a helicopter you could get in. You could fly around the stuff and you could see different things, you know. And it'd be really, really cool if they could do that, you know. And you'd be like, wow, you know. And you find some gas and you go gas up your plane or your helicopter and you can fly around and be like, bam, there's my base, there's my original base, there's my new base, there's this, there's that. And different little things, you know. It'd be really, really cool to do that. But that's just some of the stuff that I would add into the game, you know, because it'd be really cool to see more stuff into the game. Because Decay 2 is a cool concept, but it needs some more lore, basically more story to it to draw you in. The communities, instead of just dropping everything and go to the different communities, add stuff where you could actually know, you know, you go to each county basically, and after you go to all 3 counties, they all 3 become one big county, or they all become one big map area, and then you can go back to different areas and do this and do that. That'd be really cool, you know. More stuff that you could do with the guns, and more like different clothes you could make, unless you can make your own character to drop in the game, and more different vehicles and varieties of stuff dropping in the game, because the game is cool. It looks graphically cool. I mean, the graphics could be better, but I feel like this is, if you just add in more of the same, but more of the same and more depth into everything that's already there, you could like, bam. It's like even when you look at your base, if you could add more depth into that, like, oh, you could have like, instead of just building, oh, you got your medical spot, you got your this spot, and they're all like the same. You could have like medical spot, but you could have a couple different versions of a medical spot that you could put there, or this there, you know. So you could actually change through it and make it sort of more personalized, you know. And it'd be really, really cool, you know. And that's just stuff that I would add, you know. And maybe like you go into like your, and I like the option that Decay 2 is multiplayer, but it's really not a lot in the multiplayer. There's multiplayer, oh, you go in, you can help your buddy in their community, get them complete stuff, and they can help you in your community, your county, help you complete stuff. But it's not, and you can go do that little thing where it's the Red Battalion and you're doing waves of zombies coming at you. But I wish there was just more variety into it, you know, not just basically stuff, because there's other zombie games out there that have trumped this, have better stuff to it, and all that. But I just want more of like, hey, You can look at The Walking Dead. I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna be the end of the video. You look at The Walking Dead. They got Alexandria. They got the Hilltop. They've got the Kingdom, right? As of right now in The Walking Dead. Well, say like you start in Alexandria, like they tell you, okay, you're starting in Alexandria. Bam, you search and you do everything in Alexandria and like the county of Alexandria. Well, once you get done doing that, they tell you you open up, you get to so far in there, and they say you can go to Hilltop or the Kingdom now. Okay, you pick one of them. You go to that one, you do all that, and then you go to the last one. Bam, and you can do it in any order that you want. But at the end of it, this thing opens up to where you can automatically go to any of them, and you can go back to like say you went Alexandria, Hilltop, Kingdom. Well, there's a part of the thing where you've been to all three of them, you've done everything here. Then everything opens up, and then there's like, oh, I can go to the Hilltop anytime I want to. I can go to Kingdom anytime I want to. I can go to Alexandria anytime I want to. But there's also things that are between the two that happen. Some of the people that were here move here and all that, and like it's like the third part opens up and everything changes basically, and some things come back, and it make you want to go on that game, make you grind to go through every community, see the lore in every community, see the stories in every community, meet the people in every community. But then when you get to the part where all three communities are connected, or all three counties, sorry that I keep saying communities, are connected, you'd be like, wow, this is where the game's going? Cool, now I can go to all of them, I can go back to my old bases, do this, do that. It'd be really, really cool, you know, because that game has a good basis. It's just a lot more with the weapons, vehicles, the characters, and the counties that could be added to the game. So, Undead Labs, keep doing the awesome work that you do. Microsoft, keep doing the awesome work you do. And when the third one comes out in a couple years, maybe 2020, 2021 or something like that, feel free to add in more of this stuff that maybe I'm saying, or maybe if there's some way you could add in updates like this to State of Decay 2, feel free. I would love to see it. That's just my ideas that I would add into it. It may not have been the best, but that's just me. That's things I would add to State of Decay 2. And as always, everybody, stay awesome.